Hello.
Hello.
You're looking wonderful today.
You're looking epic also.
My God.
Nice.
So the most important boom 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 boom. And then the question. So what's the question of the day?
The question of the day is, what are the most important software development trends of 2023?
Software development trends, not testing trends.
Yeah.
Wow.
Software development
That's
trends.
even broader question for dudes in software testing.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be like a juicy answer today.
I hope so. I'm sure it is.
Welcome to the TestguruTV, where every week we answer your questions about testing, quality assurance, and software. Dude sitting next to me, ultimate champion of testing, Jani, Tuna, Haikala.
Hello. And here, next to me is Antti Niittyviita, a tireless testing advocate, a trainer, a public speaker, and an author.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
So the question was about like the trends in software industry in
Exactly.
for the year. I feel like this is like an interesting question from 2 points of view, because like when I look back in hindsight, when I look back, there's been this like moment in time when like 2020 in the March, like everything changed for a lot of people in tech and in the world in general.
Right.
And I would say that the trends taking over now are like a lot of the result of what's been happening in the past 3 years. And I was actually calculating this in my mind, that we have like, you and I and a few of our colleagues, we've had like this, it was something like 2,945 one-to-one meetings with software testing and development teams about, how to make exceptional project and how to make
exactly.
software work.
Designers in software industry.
So we met quite a bunch of people in the software industry during these 3 years. Obviously, we met people before this, but I would say this is the most important like take of what are the impressions we have from these past 3 years, and based on that, build some kind of predictions for the year. I would say that that's the frame or the scope for the answer, that how I approached the question. What was your impression about the question?
Yeah, it's definitely is an interesting one. I don't know if the question is for 2023, but I think it's also broader, long term. I sort of also think about my entire career, how things have progressed, what type of things have been surfacing lately, and it's probably going to take also further than just 2023, also further into the future.
Yeah, like the first idea that came to me when I was reflecting back to all the meetings that we've had and all the discussions based on those meetings we've had together and as a team. The first impression for me was that there is this like I would say a heavy I'm not sure if the bias is the right word. I'm a Finn, so like not finding always the right words in English, but I'm trying. So so the thing is that at the moment I've observed like on the social media and on the internet in general, forums and stuff like that, Reddit and places like that, when I just like go googling and go sit in the in the jungle of the internet.
Yeah.
I've noticed this trend that it becomes like every day it becomes easier for people to vent their feelings. So they walk with internet in their fingertips, and week by week, day by day, month by month, it becomes easier for people to vent their feelings when something goes wrong, with software. And because the question was, not sure if it was about software development specifically or software business, but I'm first coming into the question from the business point of view. And I would say that one of the biggest drivers for future success for software businesses is simply this: your reputation will be everything. So don't mess up your reputation, and when you come back from the reputation like the notion, you got to ask yourself, what are the contributing things to your reputation? So I can tell that no amount of marketing or advertisement money can cover up the pain of a bad product. So internet exposes the truth of your business, and it does that faster and more like transparently than ever before, and that trend is going to still continue.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. It's very easy to sort of whatever the annoyance is, big or small, it's very easy to make it public.
Yeah.
And people are actually contacting companies directly in social media, for example, and complaining about various stuff.
Yeah, your bug reports like show up on Twitter instead of like your like some kind of Jira ticketing system, whatever it is. So it goes out on Twitter or Instagram, and that's how you deal with those complaints nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. So, keeping that in mind, how do you feel about the? I think there's quite a lot of trends in software development itself, where the focus is on the technologies, the processes, the tools that are being used, being faster, delivering more quickly.
Yeah.
In testing terms, it might be primarily automation, monitoring. Do you feel like there's a conflict between these two things?
I think both are like equally important, but not to equal extent. So I would say like making development faster and easier and more fun for the developers, that's important.
Yeah.
And at the same time, making your products easier, more reliable, faster, for the clients, that's important too. And the differentiating factor from my point of view is that it's the priority of those. There are obviously other factors at play too, but I've noticed that the businesses that tend to succeed, they are over investing in the reliableness, easiness, and this experience of their clients. They prioritize that over the experience of developers. And the companies that like don't succeed or are struggling, I would say those companies are over investing, like they have the priority number one on the developer satisfaction and the development practices and stuff like that. So it's all about like where are your priorities, because both of them are important. So in which order are they important?
Yeah, that's a good
biggest
point.
Question,
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I think it's for example in DevOps, which is big these days. DevOps talks quite a lot about bringing value to the customer. So I think the starting point is good.
Yeah.
But then what I've been sort of thinking about or wondering about is whether it's actually bringing value or bringing comfort, which you actually I think you referred to that. Is it more about thinking developers and ease of work for them rather than how much value does it bring for the customer, for example, to put something new into the production? Yeah, so, releasing twice a day, twice in an hour, or a lot of teams sort of brag about the speed that they can
continuously delivering.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if that is always bringing value to the customers. Yeah,
from where I stand, I think that there are lots of risks involved, and that decision oftentimes, like 80% of the times, it's like just a rough estimate, is driven by needs of us as developers. Us as a development team, without really regarding what the clients really need or expect. And that is like one of the ways how the priorities become visible. So we're trying to find out ways how we could make this more for our team and more from our product development point of view. When you focus on yourself, then things are going to go like off-road at some point. So always like pausing and asking, are we now focusing on ourselves or the market? Because the market eventually decides if the business succeeds. So the market is always the one who decides. What does the market do? What do they expect? What do they want? What do they value? What keeps them emotionally connected with us?
Yeah.
Is it like our 100 times of a day updating the software, and then sometimes having those glitches and stuff like that, and quickly I'm sure that for most clients, users, and customers, it's not that thing that like engages them emotionally to your products.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Hey, a commercial break. In September, we are going to do the first one ever Testguru challenge. It's going to be 3 days or 3 nights to be specific of live stream seminars from our studio to your home about hot topics of software testing. And best of all, this is a free event. So navigate yourself to prove.guru/challenge, register there and invite your friends by sharing the link with them too, because like, it's going to sell out. We only have 1,000 seats for you guys, so please don't hesitate to join. Prove.guru/challenge.
So what about then? We're talking about user expectations. There's as users, we all have accustomed to applications working really well, being usable, looking beautiful, and stuff like that. Then that also, I think, that translates these days to the work life.
That's true. So you mean like the thing that people are used to doing in private, they start to expect that kind of things in their
I have
life.
like seen this in practice during my career quite often already. If we're talking about, for example, industry, heavy machinery or stuff like that. I think the UIs, for example, used to be quite clunky.
Yeah, it was. It still is. I can tell
to some extent. But I've also seen that like user experience and the usability and just the functionality that it's actually it is working. And you don't need to use like workarounds, for example, in order to use the software and so on. That those requirements have really come in that area also.
Yeah, that's true. Like it's like, I'm not sure if the term is diffuse. Like how does like the I'm not sure what the term is in English.
Yeah.
Anyways, but like the consumer habits from like business to customer kinds of industries, they are like slowly dripping into the business to business environment, and like in the olden days, a lot of our clients and a lot of people that I met in workshops and keynote speeches, they said that we are in the B2B and that doesn't concern us. And I can tell you that it doesn't concern you yet. It will concern you pretty fast, because that's how the behavior goes. It comes from the business to customer kind of areas and domains into your business to business eventually. So you gotta be prepared, because if you're not, usually options are pretty close by. So it's like moving to another product or moving to another. It becomes easier by the day too, and you can't like have clients hung up on your contract for a decade. That's pretty rare, I would say. Sometimes it does happen, but
obviously there's differences between different businesses. Some systems might be quite difficult to change or transfer from one to another, but it is true that it is getting increasingly or easier to switch the software that you're using or the system that you're using. So
that's true.
So
this is like a trend on the market, I would say. These two like approaches. We're talking about trends in the market. Now, if I look a little bit like closer into the development itself, I would say the third like a trend category for the year. From my point of view, it starts to look like there is this like recession blues kind of discussion going on all the time, especially when I follow like these conferences from United States, and the marketing of those like conferences are recession-proof your business now and stuff like that. So the recession talk is everywhere, where I see it. And looking at the numbers in, for example, the United States only, like the numbers of layoffs in tech companies in last year, 22, hundreds of thousands. So significant numbers, and for the year 23, it's going to like have an impact for sure in other places around the world too. If it's not there where you're at yet, so it's going to come. And I would say that there are like two things at play at the moment. One of them is that a competitive workforce will be more available with the layoffs. You have opportunities to hire as an employer or a project leader or whatever, you will have better opportunities to hire for a cheaper price. But at the same time, there is another trend, and that's like this skill gap, you know, between the early adopters of new technologies. I mean, AI, you know, driven like AI assisted development, testing, whatever it is. The early adopters are like, they're accelerating like crazy, and the laggards, they are still lagging. And when early adopters accelerate in their skills and value that they bring to the companies they serve, that's going to like, the gap is going to spread this year like in a significant way. That it will be huge, because those who adopt the new things, they will be tenfold or hundredfold in their efficiency pretty soon.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah.
So that's inequality in the workforce, inequality in the skills, and there will be a huge skill gap. So it's always when I want to talk to you guys watching the show here. You gotta decide, which one are you? Are you the early adopter who will invest your free time, you know, weekends and the evenings to learn the AI technologies and learn to use AI as, you know, AI assisted work, or are you the laggard? So which one are you? You gotta decide now. Because it will be, you know, it will be late to decide later.
Yeah, that's definitely something that you...
It will be too late to postpone the decision.
Yeah, and it's actually visible already.
Yeah, it's true.
People are really investing in learning AI and coming up with ideas how to benefit from it and how to use it, how to create applications using AI. So it's definitely already happening. So.
Yeah, and I've done like during the week of shooting this video and the last week I've done like 7 different kinds of talks and workshops. And in every group I've asked how many of you have heard about ChatGPT. It's about 60% who have heard about it. 70%, that's remarkably low. At least
surprising actually to me. Yeah.
And then I ask how many of you guys have used it, and it's like 20%, or like tried it. And then I ask who here has solved an interesting problem with it. It's like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And that concerns me a lot.
Yeah, that's like, actually, I guess I'm living in some kind of bubble, but that sounds really surprising to me, actually. Yeah.
And that was surprising to me, and at the same time, it's really alarming. So I would say that's going to be a big deal this year.
Absolutely, yeah.
The question was about trends in software development. So I think like we have like come to this topic from a few different angles. Do you have something on your mind that you want to add? Because I can observe that the episode is going to be a pretty long one if we continue the discussion. If you want us to discuss further, please don't hesitate to use the comment field, ask more questions about this, bring your insights here, and we can make another episode, of course, about the topic.
Absolutely, we can, yeah. I'm sure there's more to discuss about. So, but yeah, for now, I think we've covered it enough.
Hey, I think like this was like a long discussion. Maybe we could like try to summarize this somehow. Do you have some bullet points that you could like take away from this?
Well, there's at least a couple. I think we talked about other stuff as well, but at least the 2 that come to my mind are actually well, in software development, the focus is quite heavily on the technologies, the processes, the tools. From testing perspective, I think, at least in my mind, that sort of there's a few risks involved in there.
Pause to think where your focus is and where it should be.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great instruction. Yeah.
And then the other one was, I think you said diffusion.
Yeah.
So the requirements that we are as consumers we have accustomed to, those requirements moving into the workplace, into the industry, work life.
Yeah, so B2C habits and expectations coming to B2B.
Exactly.
And an accelerating pace.
Yeah. I'm sort of waiting if you
to join in. And I would say then coming back to the development, I would say that there are 2 things happening. The recession, winter is coming, so unemployment rates going up. That means if you are developing that will make it easier for you to hire. And if you are like professional, there will be trouble for you probably. So you got to upgrade your skills and don't let yourself become the laggard, be the early adopter of new technologies, because the gap is going to grow.
And obviously AI is a big part of it.
So that's it for the episode. If you liked or even didn't like, please hammer the like button on your platform anyways. That way we can spread the word for testing and software industry around the world. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to use the comments below. I think that's it for now.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us and see you in the next episode.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.